Welcome to On The Bit. I'm Dave from Dream Thoroughbreds, and with me is Lenny from Bluegrass Bloodstock. How are you, Lenny?
Very good, Dave.
That's good, mate. Caulfield Cup day tomorrow. A great day's racing at Caulfield, and only one Group 1 for the weekend, and that is the Caulfield Cup over 2,400 metres. And a really interesting race, mate, with a few chances. Who do you like in the Caulfield Cup?
Always is, Dave. Always an interesting handicap. Dave, I'm settling with Royal Descent. Everything points to her running a huge race. Barrier 3 has been the most successful barrier in the Caulfield Cup. 12 winners and 22 place getters coming from this gate. She's drawn to get a lovely run, just on the speed or just behind it. The rail's going to be out 6 metres, so they should get onto some nice fresh ground. Her form prior to her Turnbull run was first rate in Sydney. As with a few others, she was extremely unlucky in the Turnbull. She copped a big check at the 1400, lost her position, and then at the 200, when she was making a run into the race, she got checked again. I think the timing for this race, the trainer, jockey, handicap and barrier are perfect, and I think she'll be extremely hard to beat. Her only run at 2400 produced a career best run in the Oaks, Dave. She won by 10 lengths, beating Dear Demi. So hoping she can repeat that. And about the $8 quote, she's a great each way bet. Obviously, being a handicap with a field of 21, 22 runners, there's a host of other chances. I think her stablemate Hawkspur with Jimmy Cassidy, he'll negate the barrier 16, I'm sure. And Silent Achiever, she had a weight for age run at the 2400 in Sydney, where she only just got beaten by 5.5 star, and her form leading up to this has been perfect.
Yeah, no doubt they're the main chances. So, as I mentioned about a month ago, I've been in Silent Achiever's camp for a while now, and I just think she's been set for this race, or effectively a Cups campaign, and I think she was only ever going to peak tomorrow. Things are starting to fall into place for her, and her day is Saturday for mine. She's had three times she's run over the 2400, all in Group 1 races. She won the New Zealand Derby against the boys as a 3-year-old, then she came to Australia and ran 6th in the AJC Derby, but she was at the end of her campaign at that stage. And then she ran 2nd in the BMW last year. So her form around the 2,400 metres is superb. She's had 3 flashing light runs on her to prepare her for this race, which she's never really looked likely to win, but they've just been all in preparation to get her fitness. 4th run in and peaking for the 2,400. She's got a nice weight, 54 kilos, and like in the Lothian match, she's got G-Boss on board. And I think without doubt there is no better distance rider in Australia than him. She's drawn perfectly in barrier 5, so she'll miss all the jostling to the first corner and should get a nice cover for the first half of the race. Bossy will probably get her into clear running room from about the 800, and when they all start to drop off approaching the turn, I think she'll explode in the straight, and I'm on her at $8.50 fixed. I think she's on the bit. Hawkspur, I just think he needs a lot of luck in running to win this race. Jimmy's going to have to, I think he's going to have to go back. I can't see him taking the risk to go forward and be caught 3 wide, which I think will make it very hard for him to win. So I'm prepared to I think he's had great form leading into it, but I just think the barrier 16 is going to be very hard for him to win. Royal Descent is, I think, the main danger. She's going to get a nice cover with Silent Achiever. Just a little bit worried that she may need a slightly softish track, and by race 10 of this card, I think the track will be a good 3. Just a little bit worried about that. The blowout horse for mine is Jetaway. I think Jetaway was enormous run in the Turnbull. I've looked at his European form though. It's not really around the 2,400 metre range. I think he's more of a 2,000 metre horse. But
I think he did beat Fiorente in a race.
Yeah, they raced against each other. Yeah,
he did beat him.
Yeah. And he was first up over 2,000 in his last run, which only a couple of weeks ago. He could be the surprise packet, but I just wish he would have been 3rd run in to really get warm on him. I don't think Faulkner's a 2,400 metre horse. I think he won't run the distance. And I don't think Dandino his European form is strong enough to win a Group 1 like this. So that's about it for the Caulfield Cup, and a great race though, and looking forward to that as the last race of the day at Caulfield on Saturday. There will be no Cox Plate edition of On The Bit. I know all the followers of On The Bit will be very disappointed with that, but I'm off to Singapore next weekend, and Lenny's off to the Tattersall sale in the UK, aren't you, to have a look at some tried horses. So we'll return on Derby Day for a preview of Derby Day. So we'll give everyone some early tips for the Cox Plate. And who do you like in the Cox Plate, mate? One guess?
Yeah, sticking fat with Atlantic Jewel, Dave. I think she made up for that little hiccup, if you call it that. You know, second up slow, third up slow track. Well, she was backing up a week after, so I think she's beaten two Group 1 winners in a 5-horse field pretty easily. So I think she's on track. I think Mark Cavanagh's got her where he wants her.
Sticking fat. Well, I think she's very vulnerable next week. And I'm going to go around her. The reason why I think she's vulnerable, because I think the wins she's had this prep have all been sit and sprint races, and I don't think she's going to get that next week. I think Lloyd Williams will throw in a couple of pacemakers for this race, because he's going to have a few going into this race next week, and they'll need an even pace to get them ready for a Melbourne Cup prep in a couple of weeks. So I think it'll be a very even run Cox Plate. So because of that, I think the value is Fiorente at the $6 fixed. I can't see how he misses a place. I just think he has been enormous this campaign. He won at Moonee Valley over a mile about a month ago. I think that was a great preparation for this race. He was another enormous run in the Turnbull. He just oozes quality for mine, so I think he'll be too strong over the 2,000 metres. It's a Done Deal is, hesitantly I'm putting him in for second. I still think he can run a big race, but having the setback, I just think you need everything to go right to win a Cox Plate. But just be aware, I think he's the best 2,000 metre horse in Australia on his day. I just think that the setback last week may just take the edge off him and give Fiorente the slight edge. But it's going to be a great race, and Long John's going into it, the 3-year-old. They're still tossing up whether they're going to put the 3-year-old filly Guelph in it. So if they do, it'll just add that extra dimension to the race.
For sure.
Stable news, Lenny. Any stable news for you this week?
We had Mia Deal run third last week at Cranbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, unlucky.
Yeah, he was very unlucky. He ran a really good race. He's gone out for a break now, but he's done a good job. And as I said last week, I'll be away next week, off to the Tattersall's horses in training sale. So if anyone is interested in purchasing a tried horse, I will be there. So I'm available. Just give us a call, email us.
It's a fantastic experience for you too, mate. Sure. First time there, isn't it?
Yeah, I've worked at the sale in 2003, but
good.
haven't actually been there active as a buyer.
We began a new racing partnership last week with Matt Laurie Racing. Matt will be our new trainer for the 2-year-old chestnut Turfontaine colt we purchased at English Vobers Gold Sale in April this year. He has completed 4 weeks of pre-training at 9 Dragons and will be floated to Matt Laurie's stable tomorrow. And Matt Laurie trained his first Group 1 winner earlier this year, and we just think his training style will suit this colt, so that's why we've decided to send him down to Mornington. What did you like about him when you picked him out for us, mate?
Big, athletic, sort of strapping colt, Dave. That sort of got good muscle, moves well, and that's been backed up by the breakers when we went out there. They're pretty bullish about what he's shown them, so it'll be quite interesting. And the trainer that you've got, Matt Laurie, he's got quite a knack with the young horses, and he seems to do a really
very well. Yeah, he trained a Group 2 winner a couple of weeks ago as well. So really excited about that new opportunity with Matt. This horse offers a lot of value to anyone looking to dip their toes in the racehorse ownership market. A 5% share is only $2,500 with all costs included to date, and he'll be racing for all the lucrative Vobers Gold bonuses within probably the next 2 months. So that'll be very exciting to see him hit the track.
For sure.
A bit of a surprise, because we did think he'd take a bit longer, but he's just shown that he's ready to get there. So really wrapped with that. Best on breeding, mate. What's your best on breeding for the weekend?
Race 7, number 1 in Sydney, Dave, Riva de Lago.
Yep.
Was passed in for 90 grand at the 2009 Magic Million sales. Is by the 2-time Australian champion Siren in Costa Lago. He's obviously the sire of Alingi and Sacred Kingdom. Riva de Lago is out of the Group 2 Ashkelani mare and Ashanti. This is a family of Group 1 winner, not related. Ashkelani is doing a better job as a broodmare size, surprisingly enough, and he's had 14 stakes winners. So yeah, anything out of an Ashkelani mare has done alright.
Very nice. One value bet for me, Caulfield Race 7, number 5, Spirit of Boom. Meets the favourite platelet here, 2 kilos better for running second to her in the Gill Guide Group 2 last start. He loves a firm track, this horse, which he'll get on Saturday. Has form in these last 5 starts in Group 1s and Group 2s. He's $7.50 fixed odds. I just think he's a great each way value here. Yeah, and I think he's at each way value at the $7.50. So I'm on Spirit of Boom. On the bid specials, mate. What's your on the bid special for the weekend?
Race 2, number 1 at Caulfield, Paxmardia.
Yep.
Snowden trained horses are flying, Dave.
That's come good.
Yeah, they have. He resumed in great style at Flemington, where he controlled the race from the start and was really strong to the line. I think he can repeat the effort here from barrier 4, and he's meeting a similar field. He's probably a little bit worse off at the weights, but he's got 57.5 on a 55 minimum, so he's only 2.5 kilos above that. His form around Zeus Star and Divine Calling in Sydney is better than his rivals. $3.80 I think is a great bet, and I think you might even get better on the day because I'll probably come for Hucklebuck, who was quite unlucky last start.
Yeah, I think they will too. On the bet for me is Randwick Race 8, number 3, She's Clean. Just get in the queue now, mate. She just wins. She's the best bet of the day across Australia. You can take 260 now, multi her into everything. We'll be getting plenty in the last at Randwick. Off the bit, mate. Who's off the bit for you this weekend?
I reckon we've made him off the bit before, Dave. Boban.
Yeah, Boban, yeah, favourite of ours.
Yeah, favourite of ours. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. Well, can he lose one? I think the $4 quote about him, like he's deserving that. He's won his last 3.
Yeah.
But he does rise a lot in weight. He's carrying 59.5.
Yeah.
3 starts back in a benchmark 90 race. He had 57.5 or 57. He's gone up 2.5 kilos to a Group 3. I know he won a Group 1 last up, and he only had 53 on his back. So that's against him. He's also drawn the extreme outside barrier 12 from the 1400. So he's going to have to go back. He's going to have to carry his weight. His grand final was the Epsom. He's brought him down here. He's going Melbourne way at a track that he's already raced at and failed. So I think there's a lot of negatives. He's going to really have to perform to his handicap and above to win for mine. So
yeah, I think most of his wins have been the Sydney way of going too. So there is a bit of a risk going the Melbourne way. I'm off the bit with Caulfield Race 7, number 1, Platelet. I just think she rises 3 kilos for a narrow win last start. She has shown a lot of quality, this mare, but she's got to give way to all of some very promising gallopers in this race, and she's favoured at $4.80. I'm prepared to risk it tomorrow, so she's off the bit for mine. And my mate Luke Nolan still hasn't rode a winner, mate.
He's fat.
Yeah, so anyway.
He's still off the bit.
He is off the bit, yeah, he'll be off the bit all spring, I think. Well, good luck to everyone on Saturday. As I said, we won't be around next week, but we'll be back for the Derby Day preview. So good luck to everyone this week and next week, and we'll see you soon.
Good luck, guys.
See you later.